That's you and me, Ron.
That does kind of resemble me a little bit.
He does have nice hair. And I always give you crap about your hair. Go ahead and hit it, buddy.
Watch you work. Tires are lit. Wow. That is a full deluxe.
See all the ceiling tiles there, Ron? Where was that at?
Somewhere in Illinois there.
Well, I'm in Florida. How did Illinois?
I know where that's at.
Wayne Longnecker owns the tractor, but Brian Buchanan, neighbor and friend, helps him keep the tractor on the pulling circuit all summer long. Now that little piece of paper that come off the motor right there, that's no problem. But Claude, take a look at that motor on the right side right there. We'll get a distant eyeball. Absolutely. Well, this is a new setup for this gentleman, Wayne Longnecker, the River Rat out of Cambridge, Iowa.
All right. Get that out of here for now. Well, hi, Wayne.
Hey, Ron.
How are you?
Oh, pretty good for an old guy.
We were just playing a little montage of video there that went back to, I think it went back as far as the early 90s or mid 90s there, up to the current setup you have. It had the twin Allisons and then a single Allison with twin turbos, and had the twin Allisons. You were at Farm Machinery Show. I think that was 96. Then of course the Griffin, and then the current setup, the twin Hemis. So it's Ron Stone here along with Jason Schultz and our guest this week, Wayne Longnecker on Outlawed. Going to talk to Wayne Longnecker. He is without a doubt a legend in the sport of pulling. Wayne, how was supper?
Well, I had to cook it, so you can kind of take it from there. My wife's kind of laid up right now. She had back surgery, so I'm kind of I'm doing the best I can with what I got to work with.
Wayne, they don't have pizza delivery in Cambridge or what?
Well, Ankeny, but we've had our share of pizza, I can tell you that.
I want everybody to make a dish and take to Wayne Longnecker's house and say Ron Stone told you to deliver it. So.
Well, we don't have anything planned for tomorrow, so yeah, bring it on.
Yeah, you never know, Wayne. There's a few people that watch this show. You might have a whole line of people. So.
Yeah,
might have some guests too. So.
If I bring fruit, I'm going to eat with the River Rat myself. I'm going to sit on the tractor and eat a bucket of chicken or something cool like that. So,
well, Wayne, let's go back to the beginning here. I mean, what better way to start but to start at the beginning? What got you hooked on pulling, and when was it, and how, and just give us the story here.
Well, we're going back quite a ways, but just some we saw some local pulls, local events, and back in that day it was mostly just farm tractors. Guys would bring their tractors, feel actual tractors they farmed with, and that was kind of the way most of the pulling was back in the 60s and 70s. And then Ended up seeing one of the guys ended up having a hot rod tractor with I think it was I believe it was what kind of motor was it? Cadillac, I believe, from a gentleman from just not too far from here. And so once we saw that, that's kind of when I got hooked. I mean, it just looked with me like that looked like a lot of fun.
Yeah. What year was that?
Well, that would have probably been about 65 or 66, maybe in 1965 or 66.
Gotcha. So you got hooked then, and then the following year, were you pulling a tractor? Or did it happen that soon?
1967 was the first year I pulled a tractor, and it was F20 with a 265 Chevy that I bought an old car from my uncle Raymond, and took the engine transmission out, and then you choose basically a stock F30. That's what we started with, but and that worked pretty well, for that era.
A 265. That's what come in. What, a 55 Chevy?
It was a 56 Chevy, I believe. Okay. And I should have kept the car. Ended up taking the car back to the timber, and the only things left is the frame.
Wow, that 265, did it have an oil filter on it?
I can't say for sure. It was a 265 with the Power Glide transmission. That's all I can say for sure.
That very first year, the small block Chevy did not have a provision for an oil filter on it. It was a little bit of info out there for folks that are watching. I was a big Chevrolet geek growing up, so I used to do book reports on Chevys and small block Chevys and stuff. So where did it blossom from there after the 265 Chevy on the F20?
Oh, let's see. Then we went to a 409. That only lasted a couple years. Then a big block, 454. Then, let's see. In between that was I had an F30 with a Hemi. It actually had I believe it was a 354 Hemi with I don't know what they called their transmission, torque flight, I guess, probably.
Yeah.
Ran that for a few seasons, ended up selling that, and then just progression there. Went to a log skidder. Log skidder was around for a while, and then did the trucker end. Went to the trucker end where you actually built your own rear axles and with planetaries.
So when did the V12s? When did I'm assuming the Allison was your first V12?
Right. The Allison first Allison was 1975. I'm sorry, 76.
Okay. And you ran the Allisons till, I know I saw you, one of the videos I showed was from 1988 at Kemper Arena when you were running the twin Allisons. When did you switch over to the Griffin?
Well, we ran the Allisons from 76 to 2001. So right at 25 years.
That's awesome.
Got quite a few people watching tonight.
Yeah, the big numbers, Ron. Wayne Longnecker is kind of a big deal.
Yeah. And we may get some questions from some folks watching, Wayne, so we'll let you know who's asking and what they've got what's on their mind.
I'll keep popping videos up and pictures, Wayne. If you see anything you want to talk about, just let me know and I'll pause it.
All right.
So the Allisons, didn't you run like a half an Allison or something at one point, Wayne?
Yeah, that was kind of one winter project. At that time, I was pulling in Illinois quite a bit, and they had the 7.9 and 11 open at that time. And the thought process behind the 6-cylinder was I wanted to be able to. I thought it would be light enough I could just leave it on the tractor, not have to remove it to run the light class. Well, didn't end up being light enough to do that, so we ended up having to pull it off, between classes anyway. So we only ran that for 1 year. I did okay. There's a couple things if I was going to do it today, I'd do differently. But we ran it. I think we made 20 some hooks with that particular engine. I still have it, still up on the shelf and back in the shed.
I was getting ready to ask that. I'm just curious. I'm sure folks are curious too. How much neat stuff do you have up on the shelves in the shop?
Well, I don't know. There's some, I guess it depends on who you ask what neat is, but there's a lot of broken parts there, which I try to keep all that stuff. Someday I figure when I quit pulling, someday I'll just put a static motor together, or something I could look at, kind of remind myself of the good old days and everything. But I just mostly just V12 stuff, just odds and ends. Most of my Allison stuff is gone. I ended up selling most of that stuff when I changed over to the Rolls.
Okay.
A lot of that stuff is in California now. So there's some odds and ends, but I don't know, probably the 6-cylinder would be the most unique thing I still have.
And basically, you basically cut an Allison in half. I mean, how did you do that?
Well, what happened? We broke a motor. We broke a motor, and it ruined the back half of the block. So just trying to think what we could do with that thing other than just scrap it. That's when I thought, why don't we just make a V6 out of it? And there again, that's why we're doing the pull in Illinois. I thought it'd be light enough that we could keep that on the chassis. So we had the back half that was no good. So we just had a big bandsaw. We just sawed it off and welded the flange, the rear flange back on. So it really looks like a kind of a factory deal, except it's just a little shorter.
Yeah, I've seen some pictures of that, but very few. I wish I could have found them to put on here. And Jason, you might actually find one there in your research, what you're doing there.
Yeah, I know there's a couple out there. I've seen a couple on Facebook before.
Roger Rui asked, what was the biggest challenge to keep the Rolls running?
Oh, well, as you start out with something, you always think it's going to be trouble-free. Well, there was quite a few issues. The studs, the main studs wanted to pull out of the block. That was the first issue. Let's see, the camshafts are always a problem on the Rolls. The cams tend to they don't have a roller cam. It's all flat tappet, so that's been a problem with the Rolls engines, even the Merlin, for a long time. So there are a few fixes for that. You can do carbide roller or rockers, carbide insert on the rockers. There's some fixes, which I told Doug about it, and I kind of encouraged Doug to maybe pursue that to actually fix that problem. What else? Oh, the supercharger. We had a little trouble with that. We've broken a few superchargers. Whenever you would have a driveline failure, the supercharger would fail most times, not every time, but we broke a couple superchargers, so we ended up making a billet supercharger wheel. A lot of the internal parts are still stock, though. The rods were stock, and of course the block itself is pretty much stock. So just a few modifications here and there, extra, harder, stronger, harder rod bolts, those kinds of things, and then of course we changed the fuel system and the ignition system. That's pretty basic stuff there, but it brought it to life. It was a fun ride for 15, 16 years, I guess.
Wayne,
And,
I'm seeing Slater shaker pop up on some of these. What's the significance of that?
Well, when I did the Rolls, I ended up selling that tractor to another puller,
Okay.
Vern Hoosier from Slater, Iowa, and his tractor was always called Slater Shaker, so he just retained the Slater Shaker name, even though it still looked like the old river rat.
Okay, yeah, because I did a Google search for you, and these are some of the pictures that are popping up. So
Yeah. Vern ran that tractor for 3 seasons, and then he ended up actually buying a tractor with 3 Chevys on it.
okay.
Wayne, Marcella and Dennis Brayback.
Brayback, yep, country
Yep.
dude.
Yep, I know those folks.
Says your longtime pulling friend of theirs and saying hi from the country dude, it says.
Yeah, I saw their brother Alan at Sac City, and I normally see Dennis at Sac City. He wasn't there this year, but usually talk to Dennis and Alan there, and yeah, they pulled for many years, were really successful. They ran the Grand National there for I don't know how many years, several years, and they were probably the top of the food chain there for quite a number of years in a light super class.
Yes, they were. That Alice Chalmers was on top of the world.
Yep.
Frank Prince, one of our friends from up north.
Up north there,
Up north. Which of your tractors you have run is your favorite to drive?
Uh, Probably the newest one is really the easiest to drive of all the ones. It's just a little more drivable than the turbo Allisons were fun. I had a lot of success with the turbo Allisons, but they were not as on a power track. They worked really good on a kind of a finesse track or a poor track. The turbo Allisons were kind of a detriment on those types of tracks. So the new tractor is a little more user friendly for the variety of tracks that we have.
Parts are a little more plentiful for those motors, I'm guessing, as well.
They're plentiful. Yeah, although right now parts for the V8 parts are still, they're not all that plentiful either right at the moment, because I just talked to my engine builder, and he's short connecting rods right now is what he's short of. So
yeah, I've heard that with quite a few guys. We just had the Cowtown Showdown, and we had a lot of guys that didn't make it simply because they didn't have parts and couldn't get stuff back together. So, I know when you switched over, was it 18? You switched over to the Hemis, ran full season in 18 or 19?
Yeah, 18 was the first year.
Okay, and you won the points that year as well, didn't you?
No, I didn't win the points. We didn't really get the tractor working well until mid-season. We came on real strong at the end of the year. I think we ended up winning several poles at the end of that 18 season. But I think the next year, I think we won the points, I believe.
Okay, I know it was 18 or 19. I couldn't remember, but I know that was definitely the buzz going around when you switched to the Hemis. I mean, you broke a lot of hearts. All the folks that loved to see that Griffin. It was big talk in the pit area and elsewhere when you switched over. So I'm guessing it did make life probably a little bit easier at that time, pre-pandemic. Getting parts for the Hemis was probably a lot easier than getting parts for a Rolls-Royce Griffin.
Yeah, I had quite a few engines. I mean, I had a fair supply of engines. I think I had 8 Griffins at one time, so I had plenty of parts. It's just that the Griffin was kind of falling behind. I was kind of wanting to do some changes, and that wasn't going to be allowed, so I decided then it was time to make a change.
You said you had 8 of them at one time?
Yeah, I had 8 engines. My intentions were to finish out my pulling career with the Griffins, and I had really no intentions to do the Hemi. To go to the Hemis, like I say, I just it was a situation where I wanted to do some changes, and it just wasn't going to work. So that's when I decided, well, I'll go to the dark side and go V8.
So what happened to all those extra spare Griffins that you had?
Well, I ended up selling. They're all gone. I ended up selling them off, and the last 2 engines I sold went to a guy's going to put him in an airplane. He's going to race at Reno, and in the unlimited airplane races. Nice. Awesome. He's going to turbocharge it, EFI turbocharged, and he's really going into it in a big way.
Huh.
Wayne, I want you to build me one. I just want to start it once a day. Just listen to it run. So.
Well, there's times I wish I'd have kept one engine. I really should have probably, but I still wish I'd have kept one, but they're gone now. And I guess there's some out there. I know where there's engines at. If I wanted to buy one, I could probably lay my hands on one pretty quick.
So I've been turning the audio off with the videos, but I want to run this one, Ron, if that's okay.
Sure.
This would be Fort Dodge, Iowa, August 1st of 2015. So listen to the old Royals, the Griffin. Watch the gal at the end. She's cheering like crazy. Was that like 450, Wayne, or what was going on there?
I couldn't tell you. I'd just be guessing if I said something. I honestly don't know.
Make it up. Ron always does. So what was going on there?
I
Let's see, where's this? This is the Twin Allisons, right? Yeah. This one's neat. This is Louisville, I believe. Yeah. This is a pretty cool video.
He comes right now, Wayne Longnecker. Here is one tractor to watch here. It's twin turbocharged, ladies
This
and
is
gentlemen.
97,
The front motor is twin turbocharged.
Okay. Yep.
And he runs regular naturally.
So 25 years
fuel
ago.
injected.
Wow.
As he brings his machine.
That's probably when he had dark hair yet.
Wayne Longnecker.
That's Butch.
When did
announced.
you have to put a cage on
Now
the
let's
mod?
see what happens.
Wayne?
You watch the wheels spin.
Pardon me?
When did you have to put a roll
These
cage on the
aircraft
mod?
motors
98?
Produce.
99.
Very,
99.
surprised.
Yeah.
Frank, where
That
we
was
are?
after the Randy Rose
They told
let's
us,
go
right?
on.
yeah.
Wayne Longnecker. Him and I always have private bets when Indiana and Iowa play basketball. Well, he's one up on me already. So here we come. He's fired the second engine right now. Okay, turbochargers alive. We're ready to go with Wayne Longnecker and his River Rat. Let's see what happens here tonight. Let's see if those Allison aircraft engines are all sync, working good. Watch the sand pile. It's very possible. Here we go. All right there, folks.
Now, Wayne, the name River Rat, has that been the name you've used since your very first tractor? Or?
Yeah, it is. We've thought about changing it a couple times, but we've had discussions on changing it a few times, and I always go back to the original. They've come up with a few names. I didn't like them.
What was the story behind the River Rat name?
Well, being as I live right by the Skunk River, quarter of a mile away, it was just sort of a natural. And my first original tractor, I was actually partners with my neighbor, and I don't know if he came up with that name or I came up with it, but that's the name we put on it, and it's just kind of stuck. Everybody kind of knows that that's the name I've used all these years, and we'll probably just carry that on through.
You have a memorable pull that really stands out in your mind, a memorable win in your pulling career?
Well, probably the one that I always think about is in 1975, the last year I ran my nitrous oxide tractor with the big block Chevy. We ended up winning Louisville. It's the only year I ever won at Louisville, and we actually took a test pull in the afternoon at Louisville, and we blew a head gasket on that tractor. So we ended up dropping all the water out of it and coming back, and myself and another tractor, I think it was the Orange Bird from Michigan, were in a pull off, and I ended up winning the pull off. That was with my big block Chevy it was a cockshut tractor, big block Chevy with nitrous oxide injected. And that one probably sticks in my mind because that was probably, I don't know, maybe the biggest win I ever had, I suppose.
Yeah, that's cool.
Wayne, I know that you ran like the US HRA days, like Houston, Astrodome, all those big arenas, right?
Right. Yeah,
What
we
was-
did that for quite a few winters, actually.
Did that pay pretty well? I heard that did, but I've never asked an actual puller.
Well, we must have thought it did. We kept going. I mean, I honestly don't tell you. I can't remember what they actually paid, but it was decent, for the time. I mean, we're going back quite a few years, so it didn't cost quite so much to travel. And the tractors weren't $200,000, $300,000 tractors at that era either.
Right. If you're just joining us, Outlawed with Ron Stone every Tuesday night, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. The legend Wayne Longnecker, the River Rat's been with us. Been talking to him for about 22 minutes now. I've been sharing some videos and pictures. If any of you have any questions or comments or memories, like, hey, I remember seeing Wayne in 1982 at such and such, and I gave him a hug. I don't know. Type it in the comments. We'll try to. And Wayne is looking for supper tomorrow night. His wife currently had back surgery. And if you're a Wayne Longnecker fan, he lives in Cambridge, Iowa. It's not that hard to find, and he likes food. Okay, so Wayne, what's your favorite food?
Oh, kind of hard to beat steak, I think. But steak. I don't know. We're gonna have. I guess we do have a meal planned for tomorrow night. I like spaghetti. That's going to be tomorrow night's meal, I think.
Okay.
So Wayne, you said 1975 at Farm Machinery Show would have been a high point for you in your career for winning that National Farm Machinery Show. Any low points in your pulling career where you thought about throwing in the towel and just giving it up?
Oh no, not really. I mean, we've had a lot of low points, but I never really thought about, saying, "Hey, this is it." That's just no. No. Every year this time of year, I'm looking forward to next season. I'm looking forward to going here in another couple months, and we've been doing a little work on the tractor. No, never got down low enough to where I thought, "Hey, this is time to do something else." It's just still haven't grown up, I guess.
Well, that's good to hear. I mean, your fans will be happy to hear that because they want to see you keep on pulling out there. I mean, what does the future hold? When we talk about that, what do you see in the next several years of your pulling career?
Well, I mean, I just plan on pulling with Outlaws. That's kind of what my tractor's built for Outlaws. I don't see any big changes for myself unless the class has some changes that I don't really see coming, unless there's something I'm not anticipating. I think we're just going to try to run this tractor until, I put the last river rat on it when I built this tractor, and kind of where I'm thinking it's going to be. That should be my last tractor, I think. And I built the tractor in, like, say, the winter of 17 and 18, and when I built it, I figured that would be the last one I'd probably do.
Greg, is it Rats?
Yeah.
He's talking about good memories and said you were also his parts supplier for a few years.
Yeah, I bought it. I bought a lot of Allison stuff, and we sold parts off. And myself and Steve Bollinger bought out one of the boat racing teams back in I suppose back in the mid 80s now. And we had a couple trailer loads of parts, so I had a lot of stuff, and which Steve still has a lot of stuff. But yeah, we bought and sold a lot of things over the years. So I know Greg was one of the guys I sold some stuff to.
Yeah, Keith Horst must have just tuned in because we talked about the half an Allison already.
Yep.
On there. He's curious about the story of the half an Allison. But competitors over the years, Wayne, I mean, who did you have trouble beating? Was there anybody out there you think, man, I just can't beat that guy? Or you had, a good rivalry with somebody going head to head,
He's been kicking everybody's butt for years, Ron. They all say that about Longnecker. So
no, I don't know. I mean, everybody you pull with today is a strong tractor. There's very few, guys that can't go out and win. They're pull with Outlaws. I would guess probably, I'd say Sweet Pain is the toughest guys probably that I pull against now. Those guys, they step up their game and they're good pullers, good competitors, and they get a lot out of what they have for 3 Chevys. There's a lot of guys are giving up on the Chevrolets, and they ended up winning the points last season with 3 Chevrolets. So you got to hand it to those guys. They get the job done with what some guys are considered to be underpowered, but they're making it work. So those guys are probably, I would say, if I've got a nemesis, it must be them.
The Ulmer Mafia, we call them on here.
That's
Wayne.
Right. Yeah.
They have shirts made up now too, by the way.
Okay. Yeah, maybe I'll even put one on next summer.
They turn those Chevys pretty darn hard, I'll tell you.
Yes, they do.
Pretty merciless.
They get a lot out of them.
And they've been working on them, working on that tractor this winter. They're doing some, putting it on a diet.
Well, I think they put on some different tires, and now the front end won't stay on the ground. So they decided they had to, instead of finding a lighter, I don't think they find much lighter driver or pilot. So I think they figured they better lighten up somewhere else in the pilot.
Yeah, they're tough, and it's fun to see those Chevys still out there mixing it up with the Hemis. I mean, I enjoy the variety. So I'd like to get old Doug Voth back up here. Doug Voth, for folks that don't know, that the old River Rat with the Rolls-Royce is alive and well, and it's in Lindsay, Texas. Doug Voth has that tractor, and we just saw it here last month at the Cowtown Showdown. He came out and pulled. So that tractor
Yeah.
is alive and well. We'd like to get Doug back out on the outlaw circuit and see that tractor a little more.
Yeah, I hope he can come out some this summer. I know he's with COVID and everything, that kind of affected his business quite a bit, and I think he's kind of trying to get things rolling back. He builds trailers and that type of thing, so I think he's trying to get his business going full force. And then he plans on. I know he'll be at the Texas events for sure.
Look at that! Boom! Andy Gerbach coming through. Check that out, Wayne. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm trying to feel where that came out of.
That was a long time ago. I think that's referring to an event they had in Creston, Iowa.
Yep.
When we had oh gosh, I got to think about this a second. It was.
I'm going to read the article to you.
Yeah.
Wayne made history in the Creston Tractor Pull, winning the top Eliminator Awards in which tractors of different weight classes competed. He drove his 5,000-pound modified Massey Ferguson with the Chevy engine to first place in his class, and then to the championship of all. He pulled 234 feet to win the class, 234 feet in the finals, but did it fast enough to win. I love that, fast enough. His score was, it's cut off there. Wayne is 21, has been pulling for 6 years. He farms 600 acres near Cambridge. His wife's name is Pat, and they have a 3-month-old daughter named Tracy. Yes, he will be next. Yes, he'll be back next year by all means. That is so cool, Wayne.
Yeah, I think the unique thing about that pull, I don't know if they mentioned in the article, but I think it was not only distance, they did it, it was on time too.
Okay.
Yeah.
In the time, Wayne, and I was like, what are they smoking? But no, that's what.
Yeah.
Andy said that was 1970. Yeah. 1970.
Okay, Andy says 1970. The newspaper says, I'm not sure what the newspaper says. It doesn't say. I'm gonna trust Andy on this. So,
Mel Nelson, you remember a Mel Nelson?
No, honestly, can't say I do.
He's still mad. 52 years later, in 1975, you were the only one that beat me in the 5 modified at Nebraska State Fair.
Oh well, okay. I know. Yeah, I know the Nelsons. Oh gosh.
He said
one of them.
He had
They run diesels, mostly diesels, I think.
Ford. Does that ring a bell?
Had an FE
Say that
Ford,
again.
FE Ford motor on an M-Rod.
No, that doesn't ring a bell with me, but I know the Nelsons from out there, and they pulled some diesels and stuff, but I didn't remember a modified one, so I'll have to plead ignorance on that one.
His picture on Facebook is one of the tractors that light superstock tractors you see.
Okay.
Let me go hunt that down a little bit. Wayne, we're bringing back some memories tonight. I like this.
Yeah, well, there's quite a few over the years. I mean, when you've done it as long as I have, there should be quite a few memories. So as long as my brain is still working anyway.
Thanks for doing that, Andy. That was cool.
Yeah, very cool.
Did you ever pull an old American Royal building in Kansas City? Did you ever pull there, Wayne?
Oh yeah. If you want, I'll tell you a quick story about the American Royal.
Yes.
We used to pit down the lower part of it, and they used to start up the tractors down there. There's diesel guys that start their tractors, and one time somehow I got caught up in there, and I got so much diesel smoke I couldn't hardly breathe. I couldn't find my way out of that place. I thought I was going to die. And it was very low ceilings, so that diesel smoke just hung in the air. And I tell you, once I got out of there, I don't know, I won't do that again. But there also was no smoke machine in the American Royal. They just opened up the windows, and whatever happened. And I ended up winning a pull there one year. The front end crashed down, the tire flew off, the front end came back up, and I ended up making a full pull. That one I do remember.
That's awesome. Those diesel guys will do that to you, Wayne. You got to keep an eye on them.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's why they call them grease burners, right?
I think I've seen some pictures from the old American Royal at a pull where the windows up high were open and people were kind of hanging out those windows to breathe some fresh air.
That's how they did it. There was no smoke machine back in that era.
That's pulling fans for sure, right there. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah, you had to go up the there was kind of a winding ramp where they used to take the livestock up the ramp to get up to the main floor. And they used to pull the tractor, they just drag the tractors up there, and it was a pretty good little ways up there. Yeah, they tore that building down. I think it's totally gone now, as far as I know.
Yeah,
Hi,
if you're just
Brandon.
joining us- I'm sorry, Ron. If you just joined us, got Wayne Longnecker, legend, famous puller, so many memories. I mean, I've been going to the Iowa State Fair, Wayne, since I was a kid, and remember watching you pull there. It was just super exciting. And then I loved the Iowa State Fair because it was like the end of summer, but that's why I always hated it, because I always had to go back to school right after the Iowa State Fair. So, but a lot of great memories of watching the river rat.
Well,
And then Jeff
I'm glad
Golly.
we're back at the Iowa State Fair.
Yep. And then Jeff Golly, your neighbor who moved to Arkansas, he used to come up to my polls in Richland Center with his truck, and he'd always talk about you, helping you out and stuff, and just pretty neat. Pretty
Yeah,
neat.
Jeff moved away. He's not my neighbor anymore, but we still stay in contact. He's down in Arkansas now.
He said it wasn't you, it was the weather. That's what he told me.
Yeah, I think so. I agree.
I'm trying to find some old pictures, Ron, of American Royal. But hey, George Neves is checking in. I like this. Cotton candy.
Hey, George.
Ron, we got to get all these guys together for seriously, and get the cameras out.
Yeah.
Get them. This would be neat.
Jerry Setters, I think he's asking a question there. If you pulled with Henry Moody, Harold Sprague, Chet, and Howard Herman.
I know the Hermans. I remember the Harold Sprague, and I remember the Hermans. I don't remember Henry. Probably would if I saw him.
Yeah, that's what's cool when we get a legend on here, Wayne, is these guys all start watching and they start bringing back some memories, and it's really cool. This is what happened when we had Mark Ulmer on.
Yeah, Mark's been around maybe not quite as long as I have, but he's done pretty much everything in the pulling world.
Yeah, it was a really good show when we had Mark on there as well.
Well, Wayne, I mean, you're my hero. I grew up watching you, and you guys were the leaders in the forefront of all this. So it's so cool to talk to you now. Like when Esden Lane came to Wisner this summer, the whole pulling world blew up, and that's the kind of. And I know you're a great guy and you're humble, but to have you on the show, it means a lot to Ron and I. And then to see George Neves get on Facebook, that's cool. You know what I mean? And to see you guys comment and telling stories, I just love it. It's so good for the sport to tell that history and see where it came from. So I'll shut up. Sorry.
Jerry is I think he said it, Alice D21 with a blown big block. He might be talking about maybe Henry. Jerry, is that who you're talking about? You don't recall that tractor?
No, I don't.
Marty Samuelson, yes, Wayne has pulled in Ravenna, and I'm assuming you'll be there again this year, right, Wayne?
Oh yeah.
Well, we're planning on it. That's the first one on the Outlaw schedule for the mods. So yeah, I'm planning on being in Ravenna.
Okay, so Marty, since you're asking, we expect you to be there at Ravenna, second weekend of June, buddy.
Well, I'll be there unless I'm sick or in the hospital.
Good Lord willing, we want to see you there for sure.
June 10th and 11th. So
Yep.
Right.
the start of the 4-1 point season as well. So the comments are rolling in now. Glenn says hello, Wayne from Berwick. I know you know Glenn.
Yep. Yeah. I've done a little work for Glenn, and we see him. He runs with another organization, but he's got a 2-wheel drive puller, and I don't know what else. I think he's got another. I think he had a 4-wheel drive truck too.
He's got one of everything, Wayne.
Yeah.
The boss says we need to get Wayne, Mark, and George and Whitney on the same show. All legends and good stories. I would agree with that. So Lindsay Neff says, so glad to have a cool uncle. Introduced myself and all the family to this awesome sport. Remember going to polls all around growing up. So
Yeah, that's my niece.
nice. Jerry says the alley cat. Marty says he'll be in Ravenna. We got to, Ron, let's do something there for Ravenna. Okay. You remember
Yep, let's
that?
do it.
And Keith is hitting the enter button, but not typing anything in. So
Yeah, I think Jerry's just remembering all this stuff right now. It's coming back to him here because now he keeps throwing little tidbits of information out there. The alley cat.
Yeah, I'm trying to find a picture of the alley cat right now, Ron. So.
Gotcha. Now, Wayne, that one of the videos, and we'll play it again at the end of the show here, the montage that I put together. That pull in Kansas City in 1988, I was a junior in high school. I was at that pull. And now I was a River Rat fan, but I grew up in Ohio. So Milt Bergman and Rambunctious was there, and he beat you out that night. So I got pretty excited and was cheering, and I actually got on the video that night myself. But I almost put that on there just to have it on there. You should have seen my hair in that one, Jason. I had great hair when I was a junior.
Ron, you have the most beautiful hair in all of the Outlawed.
It's a running joke we've got, Wayne. It's they give me a hard time about my hair, but
I think Milt might be retired, but I think his son still runs their tractor.
Oh, okay.
yeah, now where I grew up. There was a track there close to my house in the early to mid 70s, and I seen Milt when he had the junkyard motors stacked on top of each other, and he sat out over the front axle.
Yeah,
on that tractor. I have pictures of that.
What's that name, Ron?
Milt Bergman.
Oh yeah, I got pictures of that tractor.
Yeah, Milt was a brave man.
Yeah, he literally had junkyard motors on that tractor, and when he blew one up there on a Friday night, he would go to the local junkyard and pick up a Buick or an Oldsmobile and bring it in and put it on there to replace the one that blew up and pull it again on Saturday.
I was thinking about the seat on the front of the tractor. That was a little scary for me.
I don't know what prompted him to move it back. Maybe indoor pulling and seeing those walls. That's my assumption, but.
And I thought mini rod drivers were crazy. That defines it right there. Look at that.
Yeah, I used to put 6 of them on there. Wow. We've got the Omer Mafia checking in here. Craig Omer.
Hey, Craig.
So the River Rat is so tough. Lots of great memories. We used to run against Wayne and his twin turbochargers, Allison in ITPA, then Region 3, and ran against the twin Allisons. It was fun to run against him in the same summer and watch him flip-flop engines.
Well, that's back when we were taking the top engine off and running. We could run the light class with one, and then we'd add the other motor to go the 9 open class.
Wow.
So we did that for quite a few years, actually, and it worked pretty well.
Do you remember the name? Is it Kennard or Kennard Leg Band?
Kennard Leg Band from Scribner. We used to be from Scribner, and they've moved. I think they've moved since then. But Kennard was killed in an accident on the interstate. I don't know if he was coming back from a pull or not, but so he's been gone for quite a while. But I know his whole family and Sandra and Tommy. I know all those people. So really good pullers, and he unfortunately was killed in a it was a car. I think it was a truck accident actually. Okay. But Allison Wonderland is the name of that tractor. And,
okay.
And he pulled with Outlaws for a few years. I don't know if he's going to come back and pull this or not. I haven't talked to him for a couple of years, but they good family, good bunch of pullers.
Where do you see the sport going, Wayne, from here? I mean, do you have any advice on, what organizations need to do, with the newer generations coming up? Of course, we have the Young Guns program we started, which is working out great. But just to reach out to, kids nowadays, it seems that, social media, which we work with social media a lot to reach out to them. But where do you see it going? And if you have any advice on, what organizations should do to keep people interested?
That's a very good question. I don't know as I would have the answer to that. I mean, it needs to be entertaining, obviously. There's a certain amount of people that are just hardcore pulling fans. They're going to go watch pulls no matter what. And then there's your kind of occasional pulling fans that will go if it's in their neighborhood and, you know, then there's nothing else to watch or they're bored that night or whatever. Those are the fans that kind of people you need to entertain and impress. So they might want to come back, but how to do that, I'm not 100% sure. You know, you need to keep it entertaining. I guess that's the best advice I have. I think Outlaws has got a good program where we run our shows pretty quick. A lot of variety, not you know, huge numbers in every class. You know, we'll have from 8 to 15 or 18 in a class, and I think to me that's the kind of pulls I enjoy watching. I don't want to see 30 you know, 2-wheel drives or mods or any class have that many. So I think Outlaws has got a good format. I think that's works for out in this area. So I guess that's advice I have. Just keep doing what you're doing, unless you know, there's tweaks to it, of course. You got to keep it affordable. We have to keep it where we can keep competitors coming. You can't have a class with 2 or 3 guys in it. That's not going to work.
Ed Vinkmeyer's checking in. So River Rat, Sweet Pain, Raising Hell, P38, and the Pack Rat in Region 3 talk about pulling history, he says. Yeah,
that was back when I ran in Region 3 with NTPA. And there was Richard Ziegler ran the P38, and of course Doc Christensen runs Pack Rat. Brett Berg was pulling up there. We'd have some other guys from Michigan come up, and we put on a good show. It was basically you could run two Allisons against, I believe it was 3 or maybe even 4 Chevys. I can't quite remember, but that was we ran that for several years and really enjoyed it.
Yep. Doug Voth is checking in. Of course, he's under his alias on Facebook.
I'm not going to go
there. He says hello. Jerry Satter's asking if you remember Eugene Rogers from Kansas.
Sure. Yeah.
And,
yep. I can't remember the name of his tractor, but it was an Allison.
Yep.
Yeah. In fact, I think I might have set him a fuel pump here a while back. No, it wasn't Eugene. It was another gentleman out in western Kansas that I used to pull against.
There's Gary Shue there in Kansas too. You remember him by chance?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, Gary Shue.
Yeah.
And those guys were still involved in pulling there in the mid 2000s. You know, I was running an organization called the Flint Hills Truck Pullers, and they were coming out and pulling. And I know Eugene was still fully dedicated to antique pulling as well. So mid 2000s, maybe 2005, somewhere in there, that tractor, his Allison tractor, his last Allison tractor actually got sold to a guy in, dang it, I forget the name of that town in Kansas. And then he got about halfway done and sold it to some guy in Tennessee. So, those guys, Gary Shue, he did a lot of interesting builds and stuff and did exhibition builds, I think, for the TNT circuit or USHRA maybe back in the day.
Okay.
LG Cooper. Remember LG Cooper?
Well, I have to remember LG Cooper because I ended up buying his tractor from him. Let's see, he called it the Alley Cat, and that tractor ended up going to Europe. I suppose it's still in Europe somewhere. I don't know. I can't tell you exactly where, but yeah. Pulled against him for a number of years. He was from down by just into Kansas, not too far from St. Joe, just south of St. Joe. Can't think of the town exactly, but yeah, sure do.
Joe Hoffert checking in from Canada.
Wayne, is that the Alley Cat? I Googled Alley Cat. It looks like this is in Europe.
No, the Alley Cat, the one that LG had was a single Allison.
Okay.
There could be some Alley Cat parts on there. I'm not sure about that, but that's LG Cooper's tractor was a single Allison, supercharged, fuel injected.
I got this queued up. Let's watch it. Probably should be good. It's going to sound good. Nope, I lied. That was anticlimactic. Sorry, fellas. That says Alley Cat Indoor Tractor Pull 2008. That's over in Europe at the Durrell Dome. Germany, maybe? I'll keep looking. You guys keep chatting. Ron Workshaw. Top
Warshkow.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Ron, been a friend for a long, long time. And him and his son, Troy, run a 2-wheel drive truck right now. And so, yeah, Ron had an Allison tractor back in the, I don't know when he sold it. He ended up selling that tractor to Steve and Tom Bollinger. Yeah, it was called Top Gun. And, he ran with the USHRA for quite a number of years. And so, yeah, we were competitors there for a while in the wintertime.
Craig Ulmer, we're name dropping all over the place here.
Yeah, we are.
Wayne, he's wanting to know, well, if we talked about the half of Allison. Yeah, we did. And then talking about all the Allison guys that you worked on their tractors, like Richard Rockefeller, Larry Suba, Dick Ziegler, and including thousands of others, including European pullers. All those guys, those names ring a bell with you, Wayne?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, they all do. And there's quite a few others. If you'd gave me a heads up, I'd have tried to write down a few of them. But off the top of my head, there were several. I know probably the best friend I had in Europe was Jan Van Alphen. We went over there in 1985 and helped Jan do a fuel injection system. And he ended up winning the indoor pull in Rotterdam that year. And Jan was killed in 2008, or I'm sorry, 2007 in a sled accident in England, which was one of the saddest days that I can remember in my pulling career. So
hey, Wayne, what's on the front of that sled behind that tractor that's sticking straight up in the air? What is that?
It's pretty small on my my cell phone here, so I honestly can't tell you. I don't know.
Ron, I'm just flipping through photos, Ron, and that caught my eye. Like, what is that?
Yeah, I can see it. I'm not sure.
Somebody will know.
Yeah, somebody will have to help us on that one.
So, yeah, we're getting a lot of name dropping going on here now. David Hunt
Who do you want
says,
me to click on, Ron? Which one?
Keith Horst. Keith Horst, is that the Keith Horst of Mini Rod fame? Keith Horst?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Red Fox.
He's asking
if
you
ever helped out about Ron Bargia.
Ron Bargia, yeah.
Yeah. I did a little work for Ron, not too much. They did a lot of their own stuff, but I know I helped Ron a few times, and I think I did his fuel systems for Ron. Back when the Hillborns were, kind of just coming on. I sold a lot of Hillborn fuel systems for guys. I don't know, probably 30 or 40 of them over the years. So, but yeah, Ron's a good friend, and he had the Judge, and then ended up going to a turbine tractor now. So his family's still pulling, and Ron, I don't think Ron's driving anymore, but yeah, known those guys for probably close to 40 years.
Yeah, I heard that Ron had backed away from driving, and then I just seen where they've got a new tractor, a new twin turbine they're coming out with this year.
Yeah.
So going back to the Hillborn fuel injection systems, is that something that you had a hand in designing for the Allisons?
No, I had nothing to do with that at all. In fact, I just bought and sold. I used to make the top the plenums for them. Hillborn offered a plenum, but we didn't really like the Hillborn plenums. They were kind of light and they were kind of cracking, so we ended up just building our own. So I built a lot of the plenums, and that's just all aluminum welding, pretty some fabrication. But no, I had no. The boat guys actually were the ones that I think were the impetus behind the Hillborn fuel system for the boats.
Yeah, the boat guys trashed out a lot of those Allisons back in the day.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and then most of them ended up going to the Merlins. The really serious boat teams ended up doing Merlins, although there's still an Allison powered boat running today out of Indiana. So they're still plugging away with them. At least one person is anyway.
Joe Hoffert asking if where Bill Lawrence, Randy Canadian ended up. Heard it?
Yeah, the Randy Canadian's in Ohio.
Okay.
Trying to remember the man's name that bought it. I'm drawing a blank right now, but it's in Ohio, and I think the person that has it has intentions of putting it back on the track. So it'll probably be. I think the folks in Ohio will probably see it, maybe if not this year, next year.
Cool. How about Lowell Hale from Meadow Grove, Nebraska? Bodie Ott's asking.
Yeah. I know Lowell. I haven't seen him for quite a while. I think the last time we saw him might have been a Wisner, and yeah, he hasn't pulled for quite a while, but probably back in the. I mean, probably going back in the 80s and maybe sometime in the 80s or early 90s. I think Lowell was still pulling, but I can't remember the name of his tractor, but it was an Allison powered tractor.
Andy Gerbach's asking if Ron Headley started the same time as you.
Pretty close. I'm not sure what Ron's first year was, but we definitely pulled together back in the 70s. Betty's Headache, that was when Ron was really the only one of the few guys out here that was running a Hemi. And so yeah, Ron was he was pretty tough back in the day. And sad to say Ron's gone also. A lot of the folks that I knew from way back when are no longer with us.
Keith Baker answered your question there.
I see Jason. It. That was a kingpin flip-up hitch. That's scary because it's right above the puller, and I don't like that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a long hitch.
Yeah, it is.
David Prince. Oh, wait. Yeah, Ryan Rusink. He's talking to Andy Gerbach.
Oh, see, they can have their own chat.
Okay. They're having their own chat here on the show. David Prince is asking here. He said had some great times in Europe with you, Wayne. The old El Toro bought from you. Did a real good job, he said.
Yeah, I met David. I ended up with the El Toro tractor, and David heard about it. I had it through Ron Bargy because Ron was in Ahoy at that time, and evidently met David over there, or somehow through the grapevine they got together, and so he sent him my way and ended up selling El Toro to David. When he came and he bought it, there was a whole. It's kind of a long story, but most of the parts on it were broken. So, and that's the first time I ever met Dave Prince. And I said, I thought to myself, this guy came from England to see this whole pile of junk. And so we ended up repairing everything. And he had pretty good success with it for a couple of seasons in Europe, and ended up selling it to another puller from England. So that tractor's retired now, but that was probably mid 80s. I'm going to say mid 80s somewhere.
Okay. Craig Ulmer. So he thinks you worked on David Geiger's tractor, Jerry Foranash, and Bob Chickering, Bill Prince.
Yeah, not too much on Bill Prince's, but on pretty much all the other ones. Yeah. I think the only person in Iowa that really never had a hand in doing anything was probably John Strothman, because John did all of his own stuff. So pretty much anybody else that had an Allison, I probably had a hand in some of their stuff. At one time, there was quite a few in Iowa. There's probably 6 or 8 Allison powered tractors just in Iowa alone.
Did you ever travel outside of the Midwest, like, go to California or East Coast or anywhere like that on a circuit?
Went to New York in 2008. We went out there and pulled with that club. What's the club in the western part of the state?
There's Empire State.
Empire State. Empire State. Pulled with Empire State in 2008, and we've been to New York. When we were pulling with USHRA, we pulled in. It was up in Canada. I think it was Toronto. We pulled in Toronto. We went to the Astrodome. We've been to all the domes. Okay. Back when they're having all the winter pulls, they were all in the dome stadiums.
Right.
Yeah, been to Michigan, the Dome, Houston Astrodome. Yeah, back when we used to have a gooseneck trailer, open trailer with a pickup truck, and away we'd go.
You mentioned John Strothman. Bodie Ott says Strothman's tall corn became their frequent flyer.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's information I wasn't aware of.
Which
Yeah.
that one just sold. The chassis just sold recently, and I think it went. I don't know. I think it went to New York. I can't remember. Bodie,
Yeah.
you can correct me there if I'm wrong, but it went back east somewhere, I think.
Don't worry, Ron. If you're wrong, they'll correct you.
Oh, I'm sure.
Don't worry, buddy.
Yeah. A lot of people like memories. They're putting the memories out there.
Yeah, they're popping up like crazy.
New Jersey. Yeah. Okay, I was close. I went to New Jersey.
Yeah.
Jason Latch. So you remember seeing 7 Allison engine in a Warskow shop. They sold to Wayne back in the late 2010s.
Yep, I think it was about somewhere in there. Maybe 12 or 13. I'm not sure. Probably 10, 11. I can't remember the exact year, but yeah, Ron had some engines he'd acquired out of Oklahoma, and so I ended up buying those from Ron, and then those engines got traded for all my Griffins.
Craig Ulmer. Now, this is interesting. He says you put 2 1471 superchargers on an Allison Ron Fix drove.
Yeah, actually, I did not put them on. I mean, I ended up, my friend from Illinois, Kenny Van Huysen, ended up having that. He built that system. Rick Kipley ended up engineering most of it. And Kenny ran that for a couple seasons, not very successfully. He had some issues. So we decided we'd give it a try again with some different ignitions and stuff. And fair success, not as good as we wanted it to be. But yeah, Ron Fix drove it for me for one summer. And that ended up going back to Kenny. Then we ended up taking it back off and going back to the turbos. But yeah, it was fun. It was very drivable. It sure made the Allison a lot more drivable than it is with the original supercharger. So yeah, Craig's got a good memory.
Very interesting.
So Marty is our Ravenna, Nebraska historian here, Ron. Wayne, did you ever pull at the old Cargill plant west of Ravenna?
I don't believe so. The only place I pulled in Ravenna is where the track is currently.
Okay. Man, Ron, the numbers are huge tonight.
Yeah.
We got to keep getting these Wayne Longneckers on.
Yeah, I'm thinking of some pullers from back in the 70s. I just wanted to pick your brain and see if you remember a guy named Joe Ruff from Ohio.
I know the name. I never met Joe Ruff, and I wouldn't know him if I saw him, but I know the name Joe Ruff. He used to pull an Allison.
Yeah. What I was told, as a kid, was he was one of the first, or was the first to put an Allison on a tractor. I know he had a tricycle front end, but whether that's true or not, that's what I was told.
I don't know. The first one I ever saw was the Allison team in Davenport, Iowa. That's the first Allisons I saw, but there may have been some others out east that I wasn't aware of. But that's one reason we used to drive to Davenport to watch the Allison team run with those Molines.
Oh, that's Andy and Ryan's private conversation. Ryan, Tim Smith owns Randy Canadian now from Ohio. Okay.
That's right. Yeah, it's Tim Smith. That was the name I couldn't come up with, but yeah.
There was another one up here we missed.
Wayne, is there any other motorsports that you've been interested in as over the years as a hobby, or did you have time to even think about anything else, or like how does Wayne Longnecker relax? That's what I want to know. What's Wayne Longnecker do for fun?
Well, I'm relaxing right now, sort of. No, I mean between farming and tractor pulling. I used to stay really busy in the wintertime because I used to do work for other guys, and between that and just just living your daily life, that was I like when I come in the house. I just chill out for in the evenings 2-3 hours, and that's my relaxation, I guess. But I never had any interest in doing any other motorsports other than pulling. I figured I was fortunate to be able to do that, and to try to do something over and above that. No, that would be too much.
Something about Tennessee. What's that about?
Well, I always ask where everybody's watching from.
Oh, gotcha.
You just keep I'm your color guy, Ron.
All right.
I'm your color guy.
All right, I'll stay focused here.
Focus, Ron. You can't
All right.
say that on Facebook. Nobody's watching anyway. So if you're just joining us, Wayne Longnecker has been on with us for an hour, and he's having spaghetti tomorrow, but Thursday could be steaks. Okay, so come on over to Cambridge, Iowa. Wayne, medium rare, medium. How do you like your steaks done?
Oh, I like a medium.
Okay, write that down.
I don't want a mooing.
Yeah, Lisa Jostock says hi, Wayne from Bob and Lisa Jostock.
Yeah, good folks there.
He couldn't relax. Oh, geez, both. He couldn't relax with the Griffin, so he had to sell it. So I like it.
There's some truth to that.
There's some truth to that. We don't like to give Doug a lot of compliments, though, Wayne. It's against all of our principles. So.
No, it was good seeing that tractor.
Oh, it was awesome.
In Cowtown. I mean, the sound of that tractor it has its own sound. I mean, of course, the Allison has its own sound, but it's awesome to hear that.
Yeah. Well, I hated to see it go away because I had a lot of people that really like that tractor, and I still love the sound of it. I'll go to a pole just to watch that tractor run because it's kind of unique for this area, and so it's still one of my favorites.
Somebody I think we might see a little more of this summer too is Darren Roesch and Ella Roesch with their tractor.
I just talked to Darren a week or so ago, and I think they're planning on coming out a little more this summer. And I know his daughter's driving the tractor now, so I think he wants to see her go down the track. And now that she got the feel of it last summer, I think she's going to have some fun.
Yeah. She seems fired up about it now. So
yeah, absolutely.
It's awesome to see. Fred Patch said he'll see you in Ravenna in June.
Planning on it, like you say, unless some unforeseen circumstances come up. My intentions are to be there.
Tracy Longnecker Lesher says, "Go, Dad."
Yep. Hi, Tracy.
Tracy, your dad's hungry. Okay, so.
Yeah, tell her she can bring food anytime. I know she's got a lot of nice chicken breasts there she just bought.
All right. Here's Rush's tractor. We had them on. Oh, Ron, did we have them on last fall? I feel like after the season or during the season.
Yeah, I think
we had
so.
them on after she drove here, and I know where everything is, but I don't know where this one was. So.
This may be Corydon, Iowa, maybe.
I was going to say the Corydon would be my best guess.
Yeah, I think that's Corydon.
Yeah.
But that was a really good interview, Wayne, when we had her on. Her dad, Darren, was in the back. Of course, Darren's done every clutch known to human beings in there, and he's a quiet guy sitting in the corner, but he's pretty proud of his daughter, and you can kind of see the pride because Ron finally got him to get on there and talk a little bit to us. And
yeah,
she was really excited about the tractor. They're both, pretty humble about it. They're just getting started, getting their feet wet, but he'll figure it out. That guy, he's one of them smart people.
Yeah, and I think you're right. I think he wants to see his daughter drive, and I think that's got him fired up.
Yeah, he talks like he has a lot of spare engines and parts there in reserve as well.
Yeah, he's probably got more Packard parts than I had Rolls-Royce parts.
I think in talking to him, I think he said his dad had bought like 2 truckloads of parts and engines.
Yeah.
So Doug Voth is asking a question there. Do you see it there, Wayne?
Yeah, I see that. Well, that's my youngest grandson. He went with me all last summer.
Okay.
And I've had a lot of people ask me when he's going to start driving. I told him is he 19 now or 18? 19. He just turned 19. And I told him, I said, as soon as he learns how to drive the hauler, then we'll maybe think about putting him in the tractor.
He would be a young gun.
Yes,
he'd be another young gun there. He'd probably give you a good interview.
John Hunt says, much respect for you, Wayne. Always a pleasure to talk to you at the pools.
Is that the John from Texas or a different John?
Nope, that's the John from Texas.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Driver of the Dirty Pearl.
yeah. They had a pretty good showing down there in Kansas City.
Yep.
Yeah, the dad's brand new and took the win down there.
Yeah,
It looked pretty easy.
yeah. He laid down a good run.
So we've got Doug Voth on here. Well, you don't see Doug Voth; he's under his alias. But let's put Doug on the spot and ask him if he's going to pull Outlaw this year. How many pulls you going to hit, Doug? Wayne's itching to work on that Rolls-Royce again.
About a 15-second delay, Ron, and we'll get him. So. And plus it's Doug, so add another 3 minutes.
Got to give him a hard time.
And if Doug gets mouthy, I got his cell phone number, and I'll share it with the world. So.
Well, Wayne, we've gone over a little bit. Do you mind talking for a few more minutes?
Oh, sure.
All right, we won't keep you much longer. You probably got things to do, but I tell you, this has been a great interview. It's great to see all the people coming out and reminiscing, and that's what we hope. That's what we like to see on these Legends interviews is people hear that you're on there and they jump on and start chiming in and reminiscing about days gone by, and it's cool for us to hear the stories. I mean, you guys think they're boring, but guys like Jason and I love it hearing all the old stories. So, he said he sent his membership in. Maybe we'll see him a little more this summer.
Oh, I wasn't aware. I'm just now caught on. I wasn't aware that was who you just said it was.
Oh,
So Ron,
okay.
hey, Voth, when you play poker, like we have 1.3 million followers on Beer Money. So my reach to your phone number. So if you want to mess with me, Voth, that's all I'm going to say. I think right now I have an ace and a king, and they're the same color, and you have a 2 and a 7, and they're red and black. So just throwing that out there, Voth. I love you, buddy, but I'm just throwing that out. So. Walt Brandt used to enjoy watching Wayne all over Illinois in the 80s.
Now that's back where we did a lot of pulling in the 80s. We'd like say we could run 3 classes, 7, 9, and 11 open, all on the same night.
That's awesome.
So that was, and we could go. There's times you would go in a 7-day week, you might pull 5 or 6 times.
wow.
Max Simpson built my dad's diesel super in 2016, Wayne, and Max would talk about the days of the 7, the 9, and 11, and you'd hook your tractor 3 times in one night, and Friday, Saturday, and away we'd go. So he'd always tell good stories about that. So
Yeah, that was a good. That was a lot of good. That was some good times back then. A lot of good times. Met a lot of good friends from Illinois and people that I still know today. Some of them are still pulling even. So yeah, that was a good time. Good time in life right there.
Well, if you have any questions for Wayne Longnecker, driver of the River Rat modified tractor, jump on here real quick. We're going to let him go pretty soon. We're holding him over just a little bit longer here. And Wayne, I appreciate you coming on tonight. It's been a great interview.
I'm going to type Doug Voth's number into the comments because he's getting all mouthy. Like everybody to just send him a text,
Well, just put in there. Just give him a little advertising. He builds really nice trailers.
Okay, who's he build trailers for?
Well, I think there's a lot of the oil industry and some for the railroad, I think.
Come on, Voth. The Beer Money pulling team's taking sponsorships. I'll promote all your trailers.
Got to give him a little plug there.
Yeah. Lisa Jostock, if you missed the beginning of the interview, no big deal. You can go back and rewatch it on Facebook after we're done, on YouTube, and then it'll be on iTunes and Spotify tomorrow before noon if I get to work on it. So, but that's so you don't have to worry about missing the beginning of this interview. It'll be available another time.
So
Joe, MBR or Rolls-Royce? That's probably, which is your favorite, Joe or Wayne? Sorry.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I really like the Rolls, but the Rolls is high maintenance, and not that the MBRs aren't either. I broke 2 motors last summer, so they're not trouble free either. But I don't know. It's one of those flip a coin, and I like them both. It's just that the the V8 stuff is just more readily available, and you don't have to scrounge. I could buy brand new parts, where my Rolls stuff, it's you kind of had to make do with what you could get.
Let's get Voth to come on here quick. I think we should. Just give me 1 more minute, Wayne, okay?
Sure.
Let's see if he can figure out his computer. If Wayne can do it, you can do it, right?
Yeah, I was surprised I was able to do it, so it was pretty easy, actually.
So Wayne, Jeff Golly got me lined up with you for an interview in October of 2019. We interviewed you on our Beer Money Pulling Team show. So it was awesome to have you back on. So Doug, check your Facebook Messenger from Jason Schultz. Click on the link, type in your name. Please.
I know he's more computer savvy than I am, because I think he uses his pretty much on a daily basis. So the only computer I have is the one I have in my hand right now.
I think Kurt Van Beek still has a flip phone, Wayne, so don't feel bad.
Yeah, okay.
And we let him own the Outlaws, and it's doing okay. So we can't pick on him too much. So
Wayne, what are the chances we'd get you in Lufkin, Texas in October?
Well, I don't know. That's kind of harvest season for us, but I don't know. I've learned to never say never. So it's anything's possible.
I'm just sitting here looking at the schedule. I don't know if you've looked at the tentative schedule yet on outlawpulling.com. It's going to be a busy summer.
Yeah, we're going to have a busy summer. So I don't know if my stuff holds together that long. We'll see when that comes up in October. If it's still running, it's something I'd look at it probably, but it hasn't been part of our points race. So, it's easier to stay home when it's not part of the points deal.
Sure.
Wayne, is that the state fair this year? Sure looks like it.
Looks like it. Yeah, it does look like it. Yeah, I believe it is, because yep, I think you're 100% right.
Okay. Cody Vanderholm just sent that in, and I sort of see the old grandstands in the back.
Yep.
There. So.
Yeah.
That's when the front end was glued to the ground, and I didn't go very far.
Wayne, that's where the state troopers had to come and keep an eye on Ron when he was announcing. So.
Right. I didn't get nervous a bit. Now, old Schultze over there got a little nervous, I think.
Well, you look down. You look down and you see 6 state troopers. Yeah, whoa, what's going on here? So
there's a few of them at the Iowa State Fair.
Well, they were there that day. The one day the governor spoke, Wayne, and she had some extra security with her. So, well, old Zuck Fukerberg's trying to check in, but we're going to see how he does here. I see him trying to log on. So,
yeah, he must have one of those flip phones. It says device is not connected.
David Hunt says we're going to break the internet. But no, to Ron's point earlier, the show, we always have good numbers on the show, but like when people realize Wayne Longnecker was on, I've been watching the viewers just go up all night long. So that's pretty cool.
Odiot checking in again, saying, you, Wayne Longnecker, Jerry Fornash, Bob Chickering, Dave Headley, all responsible for getting him interested in pulling, watching you guys pull in Hinton, Iowa when he was a kid. Just thanks for all your help over the years.
Yeah, that's nice here. I know Bodie pretty well, and we're doing a few things together. So yeah, they've he's got quite a team out there. They got they had 3 tractors. I think they're down to probably 2 this year. But him and his boys do a pretty good job, and I think he's going to come and pull some with Outlaws this summer, the way it sounds. So look forward to seeing him this summer.
Cameron Neves, I think he's referring to the Lufkin pull.
Yes, he is. I think that's directed directly at you, Mr. Stone.
Directly at me. And Cameron, that's what I was doing. I was planting the seed, buddy. I was planting the seed.
Here, Cameron, I'll make him bigger so you can make it bigger. Here. So here's Ron. I've been working on some, having some images to put up during the show. Whoop, whoop, whoop.
Oh,
Ron,
you just threw me under the bus. Yeah, thanks.
If you get talking too much, I'm going to put this up there on the screen.
Striking resemblance of myself right there.
And then this is the one that you don't know how to turn off. So
yeah. When you're off on one of your mini vacations. Mm-hmm.
Yep. So it's good stuff.
Lisa Joe Stock is asking you, Wayne, what's your advice to young or new modified tractor drivers?
Oh boy. Have a good job. I think that's the first one. Don't do what you can't afford. I don't know. Other than that, I mean, talk to some pullers, get some advice. If you're really serious about getting into it, do your research. I guess that'd be good advice on anything. But it's a good class. I love the mod class. That's what I've always had, and I don't know. I mean, I know the diesel. There's way more diesels than there is mod guys, and I don't know. Still haven't been able to figure that out. But that's just the way it is. But I don't know. Do your research and come and pull with us.
Love it. Austin has a single engine mod, right? Allison, doesn't he? Ron?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, in Illinois. Yeah.
Yep. I think it's a good looking like Oliver. I can sort of see.
Yeah, it's a really unique look to that. Thing's really cool looking tractor.
Old Zook Fukerberg says his phone's being a PC. Facebook probably blocked me. Yeah. It won't allow me to connect camera microphone. Yeah, no, Doug, that's what it was saying on my screen. It said, you're here, but I need you to connect your camera microphone. So, Ron, let's never put both on the list, okay? So we gotta be able to see him. Like, Wayne's perfect. Looking good, sitting there, clear, good internet. A lot of people watching. Life is good.
Yeah, just if it says it needs you to give permission, go ahead and do it. Zuck. So, well, I don't want to keep you any more than we have to, Wayne, but in the future, I'd like to get you back on the show again sometime, maybe, during the season or towards the end of the season. We did a show at the Iowa State Fair that went over real well, I thought, Jason, and maybe at one of these pools we can get you to go live with us during one of our shows this summer. But we appreciate you coming on, Wayne. And everybody else does as well. It's been a great show, great interview, and you got a lot of fans out there still cheering you on.
Yeah, my pleasure. And so sometime this summer, if I'm sure you're going to see me somewhere. So if it works out, we'll do it again.
It will. It will.
Sir. All right, folks. Wayne Longnecker. Thanks, Wayne. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Wayne.
Take care, guys.
Ron, you did it again. I got to give you. I don't give you a lot of compliments, as you know, but that was awesome, my man. That was awesome.
That was a good one.
Yeah, sorry I was a couple minutes late. I was just running from Janesville back up here, and then last week I butchered. I didn't know, Kaysen, you had accidentally the R and the S on the keyboard, so I copied that, created your banners, had the show wall set up for you, and then I called Kaysen Karen. So I
corrected a few of them when I saw them, but
I'm sorry to the Petch family for that one. That's on me. I don't know everybody yet. And then the week before, I had made these new overlays, Ron. Like you can see the top of our screen right now. We got a nice Outlaw overlay, and I was all proud of these. And I made this one, for the end of the show. Like, don't leave us. It's Ron and Jason saying goodbye. But I'd never taught you how to unclick those and click those off. So I feel kind of bad, Ron.
Yeah, you should. I struggled with it. And,
well, I was out for dinner with some real estate agents, and I had like 5 or 6 people texting me like, Ron can't figure out the show. And I'm like, what? It's set up. It's easy. I don't know what I did wrong.
Yeah. Everybody told me they could hear me.
Yep. Oh, they can.
Probably heard me cussing and
Yeah.
cussing you probably, but I never could get the video part to come up.
Chuck Cleveland says, great show, fellas. Jason Latch, nice interview tonight. Andy Grubaugh, that was huge. Thanks, Wayne, Ron, and Jason. No, that was huge. When I got your text earlier today that he was coming on, we've had so many cool interviews, Ron. They've kind of all blended together. I mean, you and I have been doing this almost a year now. We've done it every week. Besides some mini vacations for me, I do like to take vacations in the off season. I'm not going to lie. So, and when I'm on vacation, it's probably best that I'm not on the internet live. Okay, Ron. That's all
No, that was a good one. Too bad we couldn't have got Doug Voth, mod tractor driver, formerly known as Doug Voth, I should say.
As a Zook Fukerberg.
So
No, but seriously, pullers, if you're a puller or you're a pulling fan, just go to Google and type in your name. There are thousands of pictures of Wayne Longnecker in the River Rat. I was trying to find something from 75 in the farm show. I even went to Pulling Reference and the website wasn't coming up. And then, but I'd have to get a hold of Dan Mayer for something like that, or Photo Joe. I think, Ron, you know.
Gerball came through. He came
He
through.
always
That was a cool picture.
He always does. Jim Birch says good guy.
Thanks, Jim.
Good job, guys. He's got some outlaw flags in his profile photo there.
Yes, sir. Track official Jim Birch.
How did the Petches do last week? Good interview, good show.
Yeah, did great.
Nice.
Did great. Yeah, they're I think they're fired up for
The Fukaberg is here.
He lives and breathes. The legend.
It took me a bit.
We got rid of Longnecker. Now you come on. That was the whole idea of Voth. Come on.
It wasn't my fault. I tried.
I tried.
The phone was
you,
not
man?
cooperating.
What's it like owning a Legends pulling tractor? I mean, do you get like extra friends because of that, Voth, or how do you do this?
Well, I picked the wrong class to join. It's like they're all very, very good competitors and very, very knowledgeable. And here I am just trying.
That's all you can do. That's all you can do. So you build trailers for a living?
Yes, sir.
Okay. What's the name of your company?
Mad Products, MAD.
I could make you famous, Voth. I'm just saying.
Oh, you know what? I may talk to you about that one day.
I'd like that. I got people, Voth.
Might be able to get those turbos on that Rolls-Royce yet.
Yeah.
No, not yet, because I got one at Hart's right now, another one sitting at my shop here.
Perfect.
Yeah, and they're 5.5 inch.
Okay.
Did you get second in Kansas City, or did you get third in the showdown?
Got second.
Second, I thought.
Yep.
Good to hear that thing again, man.
Oh, it was awesome. It was awesome, Doug, to hear it rumble. Do you ever just start it? And if I had that thing, I told Ron this earlier, I'd get a bottle of Crown Royal and I just start it, just sit next to it, and every now and then just brop it, and it'll be kind of fun.
It's a gallon a minute whenever you're tuning. Just idle.
How close is the tractor to you right now?
It's about 50 yards, somewhere around there, 25 yards.
So get your little ass up and go out.
Can I put my shoes on first?
Yes, please. Yes, please. Ron, this is like one of the most iconic tractors in the sport.
It is.
You got to get this. And both will do whatever we tell them to.
And I wasn't kidding when I said you could the heartbreak of the River Rat fans when he sold the tractor. So I'm glad it's in good hands there, Doug.
Yes, we're trying.
You're taking care of it.
It's pretty difficult to keep it up because, like Wayne said, the parts are not available.
Right.
I bought 2 other engines now.
Oh, were you on Wi-Fi? Was on Wi-Fi. Keyword
I think we're gonna lose him. Shoot.
Yeah.
Man.
I was going to ask that question, but
shoot. I was all excited.
Yeah. Yeah, Lindsay's kind of where he lives out there. It's kind of out in the country, so I don't know if they've got good enough cell signal out there for him to go out to the shop.
Dang it. That's my fault, Ron.
He was on the Wi-Fi.
Oh, there he comes.
Y'all back with me?
Yeah, you might not have enough internet, Doug. Doug, I'm sorry. I keep saying look up the screen, truck or whatever.
Because Facebook's trying to block me or something.
Yeah. Cody Longnecker. Doug needs to have it at the Iowa State Fair. I bet we could get some fuel money put together.
You hear that,
Everybody
Doug?
gave $1. Might get him out of Texas.
Yeah.
Here we go.
You have a request
There's
to have that
Joel.
tractor at the Iowa State Fair.
There it is, Ron. I see it, Ron. I see it.
Yeah.
Yeah, internet is spotty.
Yeah. Let me go to my top. I got Wi-Fi. I'm going to blame it on Zuckerberg.
And then Ron, Doug was just trying to have a quiet night. Doug always comes on right at the end like this because he's working so hard all day long. So.
Well, I ain't gonna say that. Back when I was younger, I did work hard all the time. I don't work near as hard.
Cody Longnecker says Doug needs to have it at the Iowa State Fair. So
We might be able to work on that. We can keep everything together, and as long as business is good, you know. Yeah.
No, that's honesty and truth. I get it.
Yeah.
Doug, how many motors come? I mean, are you the only one in the States that has that thing? Is it all just in Europe, or who else runs that?
The only one in the States, yeah. And then the Europe, there's a couple of guys that I'm actually friends with over there now. And one of them actually came over and seen me from the Netherlands, and he come to Texas and visited with us. And it's pretty cool seeing different people.
Yeah.
And he goes, how many people you got on your team? I said, well, it's me and a couple of buddies that go with me every now and then. He goes, that's it? And they got like a full team on theirs. I was like, man, that must be nice. Here, I'll show you something. Let's see. Trying to get it. Let's see. Turbocharger. It's not gonna let me. I got one of the harsh turbochargers sitting up here. Yeah. Yeah.
And the plan is to delete the supercharger off front and put twin turbos on it, right?
Yes, twin 140 millimeters.
Is that a this season thing?
Say that one more.
I said, is that a 2022 thing, or are we thinking 2023?
Well, it was going to be this year, but I just don't think I'm going to make it.
Okay.
Yeah, because of the fact that, I got to build a block off plate for the blower and the other turbocharger still at Harts too.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, take care of that thing. We want to see it out this summer.
Yes, sir.
That's another car that's up on jack stands right now.
But a Roadrunner or GTX?
GTX.
GTX.
Yeah, its numbers matching 440.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah, we're getting there on it too. Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah. Well, did Wayne get my message about telling Pat hi and all that good stuff?
Yep.
Good. Okay. Good deal.
We echoed all that to him. So.
Okay. Yeah. All right, guys. Well, I'm gonna let y'all go, and then I'll jump with y'all later on or something.
Thanks,
Doug. Appreciate it.
Okay, y'all have a good evening. Thank y'all.
You too.
Bye.
Doug wants to know if he stole his chargers.
Yeah, good deal. Good one tonight.
Yeah, what a good show.
Yeah. Good
Let's
guy.
wrap it up with your montage to Mr. River Rat, and then I'll hit the end broadcast button. So
Yes, sir. All right, folks. Thanks for tuning in.
on behalf of the Outlaws, Ron and Jason say thank you.
Yep. Have a great evening. We'll see you next Tuesday night at 7.
Be there.
Work. Tires are lit. Wow. That is a full deluxe.
Tractor by Brian Buchanan, neighbor and friend, helps him keep the tractor on the pulling circuit all summer long. And that little piece of paper that come off the motor right there, that's no problem. But Claude, take a look at that motor on the right side right there. We'll get a distant eyeball.
Absolutely. Well, this is a new setup for this gentleman, Wayne Longnecker, the River Rat out of Cambridge, Iowa.